Welcome to another presentation at the East Trade Winds, hosted by Franzgrote and Wayne Pratt. The presentation today is titled From Chaos to Clarity. How can small and medium business owners reclaim valuable hours each day to focus on their top priorities without sacrificing productivity? And our guest is Mark Ellwood from Get More Done. Mark is a globally recognized productivity consultant and the founder of Get More Done, where he helps organizations and individuals reclaim an extra hour each day for their highest priorities. With a background in organizational behavior from McGill University and early career experience at Procter & Gamble, Mark brings over 4 decades of expertise in time management and team performance. He is the inventor of the TimeCorder, a user-friendly device employed in over 30 countries to track and analyze how time is spent in the workplace. Through his ventures, Pace Productivity, Get More Done, and Terrific Teams, Mark offers practical workshops, strategic facilitation, and team-building programs designed to enhance efficiency and collaboration. His engaging approach, combining data-driven insights with humor and interactive learning, has made him a sought-after speaker and trainer for small to medium-sized businesses, solopreneurs, and emerging entrepreneurs, aiming to optimize their productivity and achieve sustainable growth.
I got nothing to sell here. You don't have to hire me. You don't have to sign up for my course, nothing like that. I'm just providing some good information today. So I mentioned a couple of minutes ago that I'm an inventor, and I'll show the device again here on the screen. This is the TimeCorder device. This is not the first iteration. The first one was way back in 1989. It's a bit heavier and clunkier. And the idea was to originally tried selling those. It turned out to be the world's most popular product that everybody thought someone else should buy. So I tried lawyers and accountants and independent consultants, and everybody said, you should talk to those guys. So I decided to stop selling the device. Instead, I'd lend them out. I have stock of about 400, and I use those to conduct corporate time studies. A sales force or a bunch of bankers or construction supervisors would borrow the devices essentially and use them to track their time for 2 weeks. It works like a series of stopwatches, only one of which could be on at a time. So button number A might be programmed for sales calls, and button number B would be travel, and button number C would be processing an order, whatever. So we'll talk about the database. So I do these corporate time studies. I've done them since 1990. I've gathered 500,000 hours of data from clients all over the place, 7,000 different participants, 340 different job types. So a sales manager, a sales assistant, mortgage broker, and so on. And there's lots of distinctions between those different jobs. They fall into a number of general sort of categories. Sales and service are the main ones, but I've done school teachers and doctors and you name it. They tend to be knowledge workers. So I don't tend to do a whole lot in retail. I've done a couple of gas station supervisors, but it's not people walking the floor in a retail store or people doing manufacturing work. It's knowledge workers. I've also studied a number of independent consultants, like many of the people attending this. The idea being if they use the device to track their time, then maybe they'll refer me to clients and so on. 3,057 different activities. That sounds like a lot. There's about 200 or 300 main ones, selling, service, meetings, and so forth. But a lot of them are very distinct in terms of what clients wanted to measure, and 45 different countries. So I've got a lot of information about how people spend their time on different activities. And a couple of years back, I wrote a paper on the future of work because everyone was talking about what it would look like. And I said, let's see what it looks like now. This is cumulative time spent for a collection of knowledge workers. This isn't one job. This is what knowledge workers tend to do on the whole. So you can see there's planning time, and that's daily planning time, which tends to be about 2.4 hours a week for most people. Once you get up to 3 hours per week, it's actually getting a little counterproductive, is what I found. If you're on the low end and only half an hour per week, also tends to be non-productive in terms of getting results. Meetings, 4% sounds low, but this is a large number of different types of jobs. And so if you're focusing just on managers, for instance, their meeting time is higher, selling, customer service, managing, and so on. But look at that pie over around 9 o'clock or so, administration time. It's huge. It's about 24% of the time. And when I started back in 1990 or so, administration time was around 24% and is 24% today. And look what's happened ever since. When I started, somebody had this big new technological breakthrough. They had voicemail that was getting installed. I started before email, before the internet, before smartphones. And as we keep adding more and more technology, we keep adding more and more ways to be out of touch with each other. And administration time doesn't change. Many of those things that you're using, those apps and programs and so forth, just sometimes they end up adding more time. So for instance, on unnecessary email that we've measured over the years, it tends to be about 3.4 hours per week. Well, wait a minute. Email was supposed to be this great productivity tool. It is, as are many of the other tools, but there's unnecessary email. So when everyone talks about this AI revolution, I think to myself, sure, it's helping people write better. It's helping people analyze data better. I've used it for analyzing questionnaires, but it comes with these unexpected spin-offs and side effects, deep fakes, and people on LinkedIn contacting me who aren't real people. So I'm sure you've all experienced some of that. I expect that as knowledge workers will be in their jobs 10 years from now, and those jobs may look different, but to the degree that people are doing knowledge work, I expect that they will still be burdened by administrative time. So when I think about productivity, my definition is, how can you spend more time on your high priority activities, those over on the right side, and less time on your lower priority activities, the administration and travel and miscellaneous and so on. If you look at time spent on highest priority activities, and I recently wrote a paper on time use differences between men and women at work, and nobody has ever really focused in on what high priority activities are. If you look at Stephen Covey and others who use the Eisenhower matrix, really invented by Eisenhower, but given his name, we have urgent and important activities. And the idea is you're supposed to spend time on your important activities and not necessarily your urgent ones, quadrant 2 activities. But nobody's defined what those are. Covey hints a little bit about relationships and things, and other people have hinted at them. And I thought, why don't I look at that? In advance of conducting our time studies, I just happened to have asked people an open-ended question, and a couple of others. One of those questions is, what are the most important things you need to do in your job? And so ask a salesperson, and they'll say, oh, I need to process orders, I need to service my clients, and so on. But the number one response that comes out is, I need to sell and prosper. So if I looked at a bunch of different job types, there's a few of them listed here. I had 13 altogether. And I mapped what people said were their highest priority activities with how much time they were actually spending on those. And get a sense of it here from this chart. The average is only 20%. You can see the middle managers are, in terms of managing and coaching, they're down around 12%. The customer service people are up around 30%. Sales reps, here it's 26. I've got other papers that talk about 23. It's somewhere in that range. But the average is 20%. When I looked at men versus women, that recent paper I wrote, women tend to spend more time on their highest priority activities, that being 22% of their time, versus men only at 18%. Women also work fewer hours. They also get things done faster in terms of the duration of their events. They're closer to their ideal profiles. So women tend to be more productive than men, at least in terms of those criteria. So what this is saying is your main activities are only going to be 20% of your time. We've got a lot of independent consultants here. It tends to be a little higher for people like yourselves. So we've measured actual customer service time. And the top performers get up to about 19 hours per week. And that's it. So if you think, oh, I'm going to work 40 hours of billable time per week, you simply can't, because you need to do your banking and do follow-up work and have meetings and, of course, do some selling and marketing, which tends to be about 12 hours per week. So there's a limit to the time that's available. And so when sales managers say, oh, I want my people selling 70% of the time, you can't. You've got to do all those other activities, processing orders, going to meetings, training, and so forth. Here are some of the administrative time hogs that I talked about, that 24% of time. So unnecessary email, I mentioned that's 3.4 hours per week. Paperwork and administrative tasks. For middle managers, that tends to be about 5 hours per week. And when we can define that more precisely, I try to, but often it's just a general catch-all. Emergencies and crisis management comes up, of course. That's those urgent activities in Eisenhower matrix. Reactive problem solving, that should be singular. So putting out fires and such. Required internal meetings. Meetings tend to be around 46 minutes each. If you can get those to be a little faster, all the better. And I'm now on a new focus to help people run better meetings. So that's something I'm going to be involved with. Customer service calls and complaints, those take up people's time. And arguably, that's kind of what you do. But what people complain about is the volume of those. And if the system is working, then your customers wouldn't need to call you because the system is delivering products and services. But you get these complaints that come. Handling mail comes up. Sometimes it's paper mail, sometimes it's email, of course. And then internal queries from other departments. So people often talk about procrastination, being a big time hog. These are the things that tend to be time hogs. So let me give you a tip in just a couple of minutes that we have. I think a to-do list is a terrific productivity hack, in addition to using a TimeCorder to track how you spend your time and give you some diagnostics. This is about planning your time, and to-do lists deal with the past, the present, and the future. The future, what am I going to do today? The present, what do I need to be doing now? And the past, at the end of the day, you can look at your to-do list and actually check things off and say, I got them done. Here's my favorite tip on planning your day. It's start with a blank slate. Imagine you've got a to-do list with nothing on it. No meetings, no calls, nothing at all. And here is the big question to ask yourself. This will make a difference how you spend your time. Ask yourself, if I had nothing to do today, what would I do to affect my results a month from now? So you've got a blank slate. Now you've got some long-term goals that you've set out. I do some sessions on goal setting as well. Once your goals are in place, you ask yourself, if I had nothing to do today, what would I do to affect my results a month from now? You'd make some sales calls. You'd hire that new person. You'd develop your website, whatever. Those are things that are going to affect your business over the long term. Those are your high priority activities. That's that 20% I talked about. If you get that 20% up to 30%, then you're in the top performers. So having done that, you list the things you can actually complete today. If you want to hire a new person, you can't hire someone entirely, but you can go through the resumes. You can schedule some appointments to hire people and so on. And many of you are independent consultants. Maybe that's not something you're doing, but just fixing your website, for instance. You can't redesign the whole website in a day, but you can list some of the things you can actually complete today. And then you block time for them. Okay, my best time to work is at 11 o'clock or at 1 o'clock or whatever. But you've got to block off at least 20% of the time and make that time solid so that you're not going to get any interruptions, and then schedule the time for these top priority activities during those 11 o'clock, say. And then after that, to continue this, you would fill in those other meetings and those other emails and your banking and cleaning your office and so on. But you've got to schedule time for these high priority activities first. And you don't have to get them done first in the morning. You certainly have to schedule time for them first. That's the best productivity hack that I've got for you today. that magic question. If you had nothing to do, what would you do to affect your results a month from now? And there's my information. You can find out more at getmoredone.com. And there's my email address, mark@getmoredone.com.
Unlock the full potential of networking with East Trade Wins. Are you eager to connect with our esteemed guest speaker and delve deeper into the ever-expanding universe of connections? Simply scan the QR code now and embark on a journey of endless opportunities. Join us at East Trade Wins, where we gather online via Zoom every Tuesday from 8 to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out, you're welcome to connect with us. Seize the moment, register for free, and start exploring today. Fancy sharing your insights as a guest speaker? We're looking for you. Reach out to Wayne Pratt to ignite your speaking journey. Email him at wayne@motivateyou.ca or connect with Wayne on LinkedIn. Don't wait. Take action and be a part of a global community that's shaping the future of business networking.